Hey, my name is PolishLynx and welcome to TSU irae. Amantes. Alright, Ellie, welcome. I've been waiting for you. Yeah, that's what shit actually at the end of the previous one. Never mind. Okay, afterwards, after taking a few wrong turns and lost, I eventually somehow made it to Honjo's room.
意外にレン君って方向音痴だよね。ここからずーっと見てたけど、なんか行ったり来たりして。
Yeah.
ネズミっぽかったわ。
Yeah, my sense of direction is really terrible. That's true actually. I'm always like that. Maybe not always, but if I don't get used to the place, then yeah, I would be like that.
大きなお世話だ。
You just came to her room. Why would she leave you alone there? I made a flat response to Honjo's barrage of teasing. This was probably their so-called control room. In other words, the place where they could keep an eye on all the other rooms through a number of monitors. The monitors themselves served as the solitary source of light around me. In the dark room, at my feet I spotted a massive jumble of strange cables, each different color and size. I wasn't illiterate per se, but being in a room chock full of equipment I couldn't really understand still made me feel somewhat uneasy.
その辺かけなよ。私んとこ来た理由は分かってるし、ちょっと待ってれば面白いもの見せてあげる。
Okay, so let's face it, she's a beauty, plus a badass, plus a tech specialist. Shiro, you hit a jackpot there. Really? Like seriously, man. Congrats. She faced a note, yet absurdly huge tower-like object, most likely a computer, then began typing away at her keyboard. She looked over her shoulder at me with a cigarette between her lips, only the rhythmical moving of her fingers penetrating the silence.
もう少しかかるから、暇ならそこのモニターでも見てるといいよ。ほら、バカと天然がじゃれ合ってる。
She held out some headphones. Shiro and Mari were being displayed on the monitor Honjo was pointing at. As for what they were doing, well, how to put it, they were having a friendly chat while playing Cat Scramble. Goddamn.
何話してる？
Things.
エッフェル塔の難易度がどうとかこうとか。あと、実物のエッフェル塔は世界三大がっかりに数えられるくらいしょぼりらしいけどマジなのかとか。
Way to hit the France! Nice.
はあ？世界三大がっかりってマーライオンとかじゃなかったっけ？
あいつはどうでもいいこと知ってるようで、その大半が間違ってんだよ。わざと言って嘘を教えようとしてる線もあるけど。
I took off the headphones to get away from their boundless stupidity. Partly because the conversation they were having was dumb beyond belief. But there was also the fact I'd never been a fan of eavesdropping to begin with. Same. Hell, why was he even talking to Mari about the Eiffel Tower in the first place? Because she was French? Yeah, for sure. Given just how crazy the circumstances of it were, I hadn't told him about Mari's upbringing. There was no way Mari would know about the Eiffel Tower. The event was built to commemorate the centennial anniversary of the turbid era Mari grew up in the middle of.
ほんと真面目だね、レン君は。あいつがあることないことでたらめ教え込み出したらどうするの？
後で何話したか聞いて必要なら修正するさ。それに今はそんなことどうでもいいだろう。
はいはい、そうだったね。あと少しでいけそうなんだけど、これめんどいな、くそ。なかなか性格悪いっつか。
Contrary to her irritated words, Honjo sounded a carefree whistle as she continued tapping away at her keyboard. I figured she was...
ハッキングだろ、それ。
ん？まあそんなようなもん。
In other words, she was openly committing crime, and I had an inkling as to what she was looking for. It was her skills that probably got Shiro caught up in this whole mess.
なあ。
ん？
お前、なんでシローなんかとつるんでるんだ？
いや、なんでって言われてもね。
Hanjo smirked at the question. Honestly, I could only say she had a bad taste in men. I was aware that I myself had gone in a bad direction, but at least I was more normal than that guy.
きっかけとかは
別にあいつが病院脱走した時たまたまその場にいたからってだけ。なんか面白いやつだったしそのまま拾って帰ったの。ここはあいつと知り合うずっと前から私の遊び場。レイ君も少しは見当ついてたんじゃない？
まあそれは
I didn't have any proof up until that point, but now that she said it, I finally understood. I knew her name was familiar from somewhere.
本庄総合病院だったな確か。お前あそこの娘なのか？
あーイエス。なかなか鋭いね。
Hanjo boasted as she typed away on the keys. Looked like I was right, but could a girl like this really have been the daughter of a doctor? Well, she basically is good with computers. That is, I think, as well, right? Programming and such. If she can hack, I guess she can program as well. Not that I would know if that makes any actually connection, but well, whatever.
学校は行ってるのか？
休みがちだけどね。高徳女子だよ。
高徳っておま
It's a genius, some academy, right? My vision grew dark for a moment. That was the number of one super elite girls' school in Suwahara. I knew it. The students are supposed to be all prim and proper, greeting each other with a good day to you and stuff.
やだね。そんな目で見ないでよ。学校と家じゃちゃんと猫かぶってるし。
Huh.
そっちの方がはるかに立ち悪いと思うけどな。
So she can also be an actress or something like that.
そう？私は私なりに親とか友達とか大事にしてるよ。でも私が楽しいと思うのはなんでかこういうことだから。それに付き合えない感じの人には黙っておくね。私は変身ヒーローで昼は本庄さん、夜はエディ。誰でもそういうところがあるんじゃない？シロもかすみちゃんも、それからヒムロって先輩も。人間なんてそんなもんでしょ。だからあんまりショック受けない。
やっぱりお前全部最後まで聞いてたんだな。
ま、盗聴も趣味だし。
Hanjo winked at me. It was right then that the monitor of the computer she'd been playing around with began to change.
そんな感じで雑談おしまい。いいもの見せてあげるから、ここから真面目な話を始めようか。
The mysterious program strings disappeared and were replaced by an image. Upon the screen I saw none other than...
私はこれを見るの2回目だけど、ほんとバカみたいな額の賞金で笑えてくるよ。本人が言うには全員取ったら戦車の1万台くらい買えちゃうって話だけど
Alright,
さ。
now you got me curious. I remember googling that long time ago, but I guess I have to do this again. So basically, what's the price of a tank? Alright, top 10 modern battle tanks by price. Let's go this way. Alright, you say 10,000. 10,000. Alright, let's get the first of the list, because that would be the easier one. Alright, number 10. Should we go number 10 or number 1? Let's go number 10. So basically, a tank that was worth $2.6 million. So you can buy... if you were able to buy 10,000 of this, my goodness. We need to take them down, man! Onjo nodded her eyes, lowered her voice, and translated the English on the screen in the calm tone of an instructor. The text on screen was the personal date of those bastards, the long-used race in order, and the Knights of the Holy Lance.
ビルヘルム・エーレンブルグ。1917年
Hanover double N.
10日にドイツ・ハノーバーで生まれる。
I'm pretty sure it's double N. Because Hanover 96, if if I remember correctly. You know, the football team. Or am I not correct about that? No, I'm pretty sure I'm correct. Wait, it's 1N? Seriously? No, it's 2. It's 1 in Polish, but it's 2 in German. Yeah, 2 in English, sorry. I don't know in German. Probably also 2. Survivor of the Nazis' last battalion, the words Death or Life danced on the LCD.
27年9月、父親を射殺し、母親であり姉であるヘルガー・エーレンブルグを強姦殺人。少年院に送致されるも、同年12月に脱獄。
Alright, the burn parts, I kind of would like not care, but that second part I don't like, and basically we have to take care of him. Take him down! But wait, mother slash sister? So basically he's from some messed up family, right? So basically his father had a wife, they had a daughter, and later the father went out with sister and sister became the mother slash sister to him? Something like that? What a messed up situation!
その後も強盗、強姦、放火、殺人を繰り返すが、41年に後の SS 特別連隊リルレワンガーの一員となり、翌年2月のパレチザン総統選で戦果を挙げる。これにしかし、44年のワルシャワ放棄戦において、市民、敵兵、同胞を問わず虐殺。街路の端から端まで串刺しにして晒す。45年のベルリン市街戦時に目撃情報あり。その他、70年のベトナム、82年のアフガン、85年のイラクなど、各地の戦場でその存在を確認されており、最も新しいのが91年の湾岸戦争、砂漠の検索戦においてである。とまあ、ありがちだけど、いわゆる戦場のオカルトだね。
Not really.
なんでもこいつ、兵隊世界じゃ伝説になってるみたいよ。曰く、白い顔の SS を見たらとにかく逃げろ。何があっても戦ってはいけない。どう？少しは参考になったかな。
Honjo gazed at the monitor as she languidly asked her question and was honestly disgusted.
まだ詳しく知りたいなら、翻訳かけてプリントアウトしてあげるよ。例えば、ルサルカ・シュベーゲリン。こいつなんか傑作で。
いや、もういい。
Hearing those bastards' pasts would just make me feel so disgusted, my internal organs would rot. I knew information was important, but there were also things better left unheard. But you know, there are also informations you might need to hear actually. They might be super useful, man. They might help you freaking win fights with them.
一人ずつピックアップしなくていいから、分かってる範囲のメンバー構成を教えてくれよ。顔写真があるなら、それだけでもいい。
Okay.
そう？じゃあざっといくけど、ビルヘルム・エーレンブルグ、ルサルカ・シュベーゲリン、バレリア・トリファ、ロート・シュピーネ。
Last one not important, already out of the game.
それから、ベアトリス・キルヒアイゼンはもう死んでるみたいで、その抜け番が桜井圭。こいつらが高額の賞金首だってことは OK？
ああ。
It seemed that was what Honjo was talking about. There was a big price to be had for bringing in her heads. But that thought only served to make me feel even worse. Regardless of the reason of the target's identity, I just wasn't fond of murder for money. I knew the internet had these kind of sites, but this was the first time I'd ever actually seen one.
それ、どこのアングラサイトだよ。
Yeah, did want to click that. I couldn't hide the irritation in my tone. I don't know why we would be irritated there.
国連。
Eh?
は
Say what?
だから、国際連合。WW2 の戦勝国様。地球大統領府とか、バカっぽい言い方をしてもいい。
True.
そこの人らにとっちゃ、意地で抹殺しておきたい亡霊なんだよ。
That's also true. Unfortunately.
勝者の歴史ってやつがあるだろうし。だから当然、この情報だって簡単に閲覧できるものじゃない。コネと金と、その他いろいろ。裏技使わないと見れないよ。
お前一般人じゃないのかよ。
No.
実は、ただの一般人じゃなかったり。
I like her. Honcho produced a cynical smile, cigarette still in her mouth. I heard she was good at these things, but it looked like she had an even more surprising skill set than I thought. Being able to hack into a UNS database was not something an old script kiddie could do. How do you know that? Gee, she and Shiro really were a match made in hell, weren't they?
でも、私が見れたのはこの5人。プラス個人1人の6人だけ。これじゃあ全然足りないよね。
I couldn't answer her right away. It was my intention to play it up, rather my brain was simply trying hard to not to remember. Reinhardt! No, out of the question. Way out of our league. The guys shown on the screen were like kittens compared to him, and I bet there were more mind-boggling monsters lurking out there too. They must never be allowed to resurface. Those guys feared even by Spinne, their own comrade, were like nuclear weapons. If they came back to pick a fight, it would be all over. We couldn't beat them. Alright, I kind of can't see everything here. It's too dark, damn it! I see that there is the girl with this car, some other guy, the crazy white hair guy, and some other guy. Alright, the Obsidian Round Table's commander, vice commander, and their 3 battalion commanders. Wait, there are 5 people here? I see 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, where is the 5th? Yeah, never mind.
レン君、とりあえず何考えてるかは顔から想像できたけど、そいつら何？
You don't want to know.
ちょっとシャレにならなすぎるのが何人かいる？オッケー。それはいいんだよ。勝てないやつと戦う必要はないし、勝負しないならそいつらの出番を封じるように立ち回ればいい。
True.
問題は。
I clicked again! Damn it! I hate myself.
ねえ、教えてよ。まだ私らと組むのに抵抗があるのかもしれないけど、そんなのがいるなら好き嫌いも言ってらんないでしょ。
I would totally team up with you without even second thoughts. Honcho was right. I didn't plan to complain about teaming up at this point. I'd be damned to have any meaningless casualties, so I had to disclose the information I knew. Jesus Christ.
5人だ。
I put a hand on my chest, took a deep breath, then spoke.
奴らの一人から直に聞いた。そいつはもう倒したから、そこに上がってる6人中、個人は2人ってことになる。だけど、もっと上がいるんだよ。連中はトップが2人で、その下に幹部が3人。この5人は正直なところ。
どうやっても勝てそうにない。
I soundly nodded.
そう。でも、レン君が実際に見たのは、そのうちの1人だけでしょ？
わからない。けど、そんな気がするんだ。
I knew those bastards. I didn't know why, but I felt deja vu at their names. Reinhardt and Mercurius, Machina, Samuel, and Schreiber. Well, I didn't read Nietzsche and so on, but I also do know a little bit about those names. I was too much for them now. Honjo tilted her head like she was thinking about something, then checked the information on screen again.
バレリアトリファ。私が怖いっていうか、気持ち悪いと思うのはこいつだけど。レン君的には別に問題じゃないって感じ？
まさか、そんなことあるわけないだろう。
It was just, how to put it, I couldn't describe it well, but his disposition seemed different from Dread's. In that sense, Honjo was right to feel weirded out by him.
その神父は現状の司令官だ。狩猟代行って言ったか、例の5人が戻ってくるまで連中を仕切る役目。
つまり頭脳労働専門ってわけ。まあ確かにそんな感じのやつだったけど、だからってそれは別に私らにとっちゃ大差ないっていうか。
Yeah, it wasn't like he was weak. He blew me away with a single strike. None of those freaks in the obsidian round table were fools we could just beat down. It didn't change that. Wilhelm, Rusonka, and Sakurai couldn't be beaten by conventional means.
とりあえずいろいろ突っ込みどころはあるけど、それは後に回すとして、今は私が思ってることを言っておくわ。
Go ahead.
まずベアトリス・キルヒアイゼンと桜井圭は代替わりしてるから、実質私が見れた情報は5人分。それにレン君が言う5人も足して合計10人。足りないんだよ、あと3人。正直ね、幹部とかその連中のことはなんとなくだけど分かってた。プロテクトの規模とか難易度とか、そういうことからこの下に何人いるかはだいたい見当つくんだよ。でもね、残りの3人、これについては痕跡すらない。データが存在してないのか、私でも読めないくらい深いところに行ってるのか、まるでわからないから怖くなる。
Alright. Well, I guess one of them is was, shut underground the church for 11 years. So I might be wrong, but I feel like if someone is shut like that in the darkness for 11 years and sleeping, I'm pretty sure he was a freaking crazy bastard. Like really crazy. Like the high level of crazy. So yeah, maybe that's why there's no information about him. So basically what the others did in the past, well, actually what they've been doing so far, is not as crazy as he's crazy. Alright, let's stop with the crazy talk, because it's also crazy. Alright.
情報の傾聴で脅威度を測るなら、レン君が言ってる5人よりこの3人の方がはるかにやばいよ。楽天的に考えれば大したことないから登録されてなかったとかそんなオチもありえるっちゃありなんだけど。
Yeah, no, sorry, but that theory doesn't make sense. I'm pretty sure they're freaking powerful.
もしかしたらこの3人はナチの切り札なのかもしれない。
Yeah, I guess you could say that. The elite or something like that. What they would like to call themselves.
そして私たちはそのうち2人に 検討。
You do? Honjo blew out cigarette smoke as she kept staring at the monitor. I knew what she was implying, and we were thinking the exact same thing, hence my dumbfoundedness.
教会にいる神父。あそこは他にもシスターが1人と月額の。
いい、言うな、分かってる。
本当に？
ああ、さすがにそこまでおめでたくない。
Thinking back on it now, the hints had been laid out before me clear as day. It must be beautiful, I merely choose not to notice them. It wasn't like it had been with me. I saw the truth through the filter that was my friends.
だけど、それでもあの人は俺の先輩だ。シスターにしても何度か世話になっている。だから。
Even if my suspicions about those two were correct, I couldn't hesitate any longer. It wasn't a matter of fighting or saving someone, I just...
あの人たちに誰も殺させない。後のことはその時になってから考えるさ。
Honjo threw a somewhat curious gaze at me when I said that.
なんだよ。
いや、なんかこう、意外にレン君って熱いよね。割に恥ずかしいこととか平気で言っちゃうタイプでしょ。
Yeah, somehow it's true. Surprise, surprise. Mind your own business.
ほら、ダメだってば、そんな顔しちゃ。私、今の結構グーッとくるもんがあったんだから。ほら、シロはマリーちゃんと遊んでるし、レン君は私と二人で盛り上がる？実はこの客船に、密かな自信を持ってたり。
Whoa! Yowza! But no, I can't. The rules of mine are to not do anything with the females that are in relationships. Sorry, only singles.
ミニスカ履いて足上げるなよ。
And well, admit it, I don't take off your boots either.
ふざけてるなら俺は行くぞ。お嬢のくせにバカなことやってんな。
She pouted and sighed conspicuously. She was basically a female version of Shiro. I was better off not taking her seriously.
わかったよ。このことについてはまた後で。今度二人っきりになったら続けようね。
We can if you will be single.
で、さっきも言ったけど、私レン君の話に突っ込みたいところがあるわけでさ。
Yes.
ああ、言ってたな。で
Promising myself not to get stuck alone with her again, I urged her onwards. Just then.
ナチの頭が町に来たのに、なんで神父が未だに代行なんかやってるわけ？
She did not materialize completely. Honjo accurately pointed out the one thing I was deliberately avoiding because it was too much pain. Her enrollment at Kotoguero's Academy may have been a total joke, but that also meant she wasn't an idiot. Well, you know, I know it's an elite school and so on, but it doesn't mean in an elite schools there aren't any idiots. For she clearly is not. She's not, definitely. But yeah, assuming that like all the people there are so not basically idiots it's an idiotic thing. I really do use one word each time. And each time. Using one word way too often. I mean, earlier crazy, now idiot. What an idiot I am. That's crazy. Alright, never mind.
なんで？
それは、なんて言うかな。
Talking about it would lead to a rather absurd explanation, so I honestly want to keep quiet about it. But this really was a serious issue, so I probably couldn't go hiding it.
ラインハルトは、まだ完全じゃない。
Well, that's true. Spina said those words would return if 8 magic circles were opened in the city. To look at it from another perspective, that meant they couldn't return as long as those 8 remained shut. So in concept, the whole thing was more like a summoning rather than an arrival. I didn't know where they were returning from, but in any case, it meant Reinhardt was still not inside the city. To summarize it in direct terms...
そうか、なるほどね。
Honjo accepted that extraordinary story surprisingly quickly.
8箇所。要はそういうことか。とすればシロのやつ、全部分かっててここにいたな。通りで妙だと思ったよ。あいつが丸1日以上花にこもってるなんて。
Letting out a few quick grumbles, Honjo returned to swiftly tapping away at her keyboard. She then stared intently at surveillance camera footage on the monitor. As a result,
やっぱり。
Honjo said that in a low, trembling voice, her tone and expression carrying a complex mix of anger and joy.
シロ、このバカ。あんた責任取んなさいよ。
She took the mic and patched through the room Shiro and Mari were playing in. It was then that I saw it too.
お客さんが来てる。もう手遅れだね。
A mixture of chills and shivers rushed up my spine. It seemed like a prodigy test out what I just talked about came quicker than I expected.
三つ目のスワスチカは、ここってわけか。
Oh
うちの奴ら、
shit.
多分皆殺しにされちゃうよ。
Oh shit. Who is that? Staring at us through the surveillance cameras was a woman with a striking familiar mole under one eye. Her face contracting almost palpable sorrow as she stood up in the club stage. Lisa Brenner, no mistaking. What? Hey, how do you have long hair? She'd traded in her nun's habit for a vastly different looking black SS Army uniform. God damn it, Lisa, I liked you. I believed in you. How could you do this to me? She gracefully walked through the dazzling lights and flew the violent sound paying no heed to the crowd of 100 plus there. She was neither avoiding contact with the people around her, nor was she being avoided by them. Yet nobody in that jam-packed hell touched even her shoulder. The girl, Kate Sakurai, narrowed her eyes. She thought about the tragedy that was about to unfold here, but perhaps realizing it was pointless, concentrated on the stage with a cold gleam in her eyes. On the other intruder who'd invaded the premises without a sound or trace, much like herself. On the dark, holy woman who languidly pulled her long hair up under the lights. Lisa Brenner, tonight's lead actress.
さあ、あなたはどうするの、藤井君。
Well, the answer is simple, I'm afraid. The bottomless pit's hall was already filled with a great variety of spectators, from somewhat elderly men to girls who still had traces of innocence left in them. They all looked up at the stage in a bit of a daze. Standing there was a lone woman I knew. She wasn't wearing her trademark glasses, but it ended up in my mind that it was her. Sister Lisa, Lisa Brenner.
面白いな。まるでお通夜じゃねえかよ。
美人の凄みってやつかね。
None of the 100 plus spectators dared say a word. An abnormal silence ringed in league with the loud club music. Shiro, Honjo, and I stared blankly as the other guys got in our way, preventing us from reaching the stage. Mari had returned to my body in preparation for battle, but I hadn't seen that coming. Since I couldn't predict what was to come next, I didn't know what to do. Perhaps she had been waiting for us. If so, did that mean a fight would break out as soon as we arrived? I hadn't gone off the deep end enough to suddenly start battle to the death with someone I knew, but in that case, how was I to put an end to the situation?
こんばんは、藤井君。
But in that moment of anguish, she looked right at me with piercing eyes, and we locked gazes. She spoke in the exact same mild tone she did last time we met. Nausea came over me as the realization that this was not a dream finally began to sink in. She was the same Lisa Brenner I knew before all this madness began. We were separated by a roughly 20-meter long distance, yet she spoke coldly across the sea of petrified spectators.
悪いことは言わないから、すぐにこの場を離れなさいな。正直私は、あなたと争いたくないの。
だったら。
Instantly started shouting.
あんたがここから去ってくれ。俺だってあんたと戦いたくなんかない。きっと氷室先輩だって。
ええ、あの子はそうでしょうね。
Her words carried a hint of self-depreciation. For her eyes were filled with sorrow, she followed up with some rather cold words.
でも私がここから引いてしまえば、代わりにベイかマレウスがやってくるだけ。事態は何も変わらない。
Would make things easier a bit.
シスター、俺は。
I didn't want to hear those bastards' names from her mouth.
どうして俺にはあんたや先輩があの気が狂った連中と同じようには思えない。どうしてあいつらと行動を共にする。
あなたと知り合うずっと前から私は彼らの仲間だからよ。私とあなたが出会っていても出会わなくても今日という日は起きていた。何かが変わったわけじゃない。私は最初からこんな女だからね。これが最後の忠告。
Sister Lisa's eyes narrowed. She stared at me with arrogance and haughtiness. her gaze replete with the pressure of an empress.
去りなさい、藤井君。あなたが死んだら、レアが悲しむ。
Flashes of that day flew by for a moment. Memories of that irreparable shattered day-to-day life. She understood nothing.
ふざけるなよ。
Couldn't she tell that the mere act of hearing something like that from her lips would make him more asunder even that the issue of my life or death? We could argue over stupid shit like dying, killing, fighting, or whatnot, but it wouldn't get us anywhere. I decided to stop thinking.
シスター、ここから消えるのはあんただよ。口で言っても通じないなら力ずくで叩き出してやる。
そう。じゃあ私も、そのか。
Sister listened to me, conspicuously avoiding my gaze.
聞けないのはこちらも同じ。私にも理由があるし、叶えなければならない願いがある。その邪魔をするなら排除するわ。清掃13騎士団黒煙卓第11位、バビロン・マグダレナ・リザ・ブレンナ。今の私たちが有する最高戦力と戦って勝てると思わない方がいい。
At that exact moment, the hole opened diagonally above Sister Lisa. No, that wasn't quite right. It was a mask, or something like that. A jet black object that didn't give off even the smallest ember of light was floating in the air. It sent shivers down my spine.
おいおい。
こりゃちょっと。
Shiro and Honjo, who had been quietly watching my conversation with Sister Lisa up to that point, broke out into uncharacteristically stiff smiles. They probably felt it too. The aberrant wicked intentions oozing out from deep within that hellish black mask. That was her Ahnanerbe. Oh shit. A second later, the darkness exploded. A human figure grew out of the mask, admittedly an odd expression, but that was the only way I could describe the phenomenon unfolding before my eyes. Arms, legs, a waist, and the torso materialized in but a few seconds, like they protruded out of the mask. Sister Lisa was no longer alone. You've got to be shitting me, so basically, she's in control of some crazy maniac? Standing next to her was a peculiar giant easily over 2 meters tall, his body covered in bundles of thick muscles like the statue of a fierce god. A tattoo with a complex design was carved in the left side of its body, serving on to accentuate its bizarre appearance even further. What the hell? Was that thing human? It didn't look the way at all. Despite its huge frame, the giant didn't feel real in the slightest. It stood right before me, but its whole appearance seemed so unrealistic it rather felt like a bad joke. Nonetheless, the bloodlust it emanated was so fierce it hit me like a ton of bricks, sending an ominously negative wave across the hall. The spectators, whose time had stood by the appearance of Sister Lisa, woke up all at once. They all looked at the monster with eyes of dread. That fear amplified, spread, saturated, and started rolling up within them. Those driven by fear tried to get out the right way, crawling up the narrow exit. Some of them promptly pushed others out the way, desperate to save themselves first. Just then, Shiro fired a gun at the ceiling and let out an angry roar exceeding all other sounds. That was enough to quell the 100 or so panicked spectators into silence. It was though they stopped running, parted to the side, and opened the path to the stage.
よーし、分かってんじゃねえか。それでいいんだよ。
Is he holding a freaking giant sword? Actually? Paying no heed to my dumbfounded at his Moses-esque feats, Shiro calmly walked down the hallway. Honjo trailed behind him, wearing the casual expression of someone taking an everyday stroll down the street.
大したものね、ユサシロ君。
Sister Lisa's voice carried a hint of admiration.
私たちの時代に生まれていたら、あなたは英雄になれたかもしれない。
Okay, you consider yourself a hero, Lisa? You've got to be fucking kidding me here.
じゃああんたは、さしずめマッドサイエンティストだったってところかな？
Yes. Honjo listlessly snickered while gesturing to the mysterious giant who had yet to budge even an inch.
家業からわかるんだよ、私には。真っ向臭いっていうか、ホルマリン臭いっていうか。とにかく随分と破壊だよね、シスターも。
Yep.
ああ、 なんつうか墓場くせえ。
Whoa.
そうだね。刺繍プンプンだよ。そのでかいの。ビクター・フランケンシュタイン博士。あれって英国文学のはずだけど、いいわけ？ドイツ人がパクっちゃってさ。
Nice. Sister Liz laughed at Concho's comment. She wasn't denying it, she didn't say anything, almost like she was admitting that her comment was the truth.
じゃあ、あいつは
This huge ass guy is a corpse. Is that why it didn't feel real despite being so huge? True, the force that Buster was getting off felt rather twisted. Not the force of something living, but rather that of a large machine, like the oppression of an approaching tank. A heartless, lifeless machine of slaughter.
清掃13騎士団黒煙卓第2トバルカイン。
Eh?
おっしゃる通りよ、お嬢さん。彼は死体、生きていない。こうなったものを私が使う。最初からそういう配役。
Wait, so he's part of the table after all.
まずはお見事。その統率力と洞察力、彼を前にして正気でいられる度胸も含めて非凡だと言っていい。だけど
Sister Lisa's eyes narrowed again. She wasn't looking at me, nor at Shira or Honja. My heart leapt as I felt a certain kind of unease and fretfulness explode within me. This is bad, very bad. Perhaps she's...
指揮官としては最悪よ。今夜の私の目的はここのスワスチカを開くこと。あなたたちと遊んでいる暇はないの。判断ミスね、二人とも。それだけ統制が取れるならあの時逃がすべきだった。ねえ、カイン。
The twinkle of a flash, the brusque lamp of iron wielded by the giant she referred to as Cain rumbled with a sinister echo. It was probably his Ahmalabe. It let out an electrifying roar. Sister Lisa was up on the stage, waving her hands and giving orders like a conductor. A musical suite of agonizing screams began with her command. The giant was the musician, and people were his instrument. It was an orchestra of carnage.
クレッシェン。
A flash of purple lightning emerged in the hall with a thunderous roar. My eyes were blinded by the splitting lightning and my eardrums burst by the roars in the airtight space. I tried to dash forward in the waited out silence, but I was blown away by a shockwave. Blood and chunks of meat splattered me a second after I crashed into the wall. The bodies of the helpless club attendees were torn apart and split into pieces by the lightning. The stench of their boiling blood and burned dry flesh filled my nostrils. I could tell even without my sight and hearing that the hall had just turned into a mountain of corpses in the instant it took the monster to unleash that single attack. Say something if you're alive, you dumbass. You couldn't die that easy, right? I grit my teeth and slapped my knees. My legs were completely numb. I must have been hit by the lightning as well. I had to stand and whine, damn it. I was the only one here able to take on that monster. I could tell blood was pouring out of all the cavities on my face as a result of the shock I had received, but I put that out of my mind. I knew this disaster was undoubtedly brought about by my own naivety. Sister Lisa, so we really are the same as those bastards killed without fear or hesitation, huh? Then... I didn't want to fight her, nor did I want her to die, and I didn't want her to kill anyone either. The least I could do for having failed to accomplish any of that was get rid of that undead freak as soon as possible. I remembered what Spina had said. Those bastards' goal was to cause massacres at 8 points around the city, to create 8 battlefields. Then fighting here would be playing right in their plans. However, as long as those guys were seen to those places, I couldn't lure them anywhere else. And most importantly, if I let that monster get out of this place in one piece, it would only increase that innocent casualties later. So what I had to do now was take out Cain right away, nothing else. My hearing returned right around the time when I stood up. I could hear gunfire. Shira and Honjo were shrewder and more sensible than me, so they must have got into a safe zone quickly enough. Just as that thought-filled move relieved, my vision returned. Tybalt Cain turned back to me. Either he noticed my stare or Sister Lisa seized him on me. His turn was more like that of a power shovel than a human's. Seriously, was I the only sane person left in here? The corpse was rotting, as corpses normally did. His existence was a horrible perversion of nature. I could barely even look straight at him. I took a step forward, which Cain saw as his cue to leap off the stage. His body was so massive, each step was accompanied by a tremor in the earth. His power was undoubtedly extraordinary, yet the place itself didn't allow for any strategy involving quick movement and surprise attacks. For that last attack wiped out about half of them, there were still people clamoring in the hall. I would have to take that thing head on if I were to ensure their safe escape. So come on, Mari, let's do it together! Let's beat that monster back in the grave it crawled out of! Blood and pieces of flesh shut off with the roar of the first attack. Lisa Brenner closed her eyes and perceived just how many lives had been lost. 78 died instantly, 21 were fatally wounded. In other words, 129 souls were raped by that pure attack. Was it there? No, that still wasn't enough. The souls gathered at the bottom's pit were of surprisingly fine quality. They weren't spiritually tempered, they had merely lived their dirty lives. They were outlaws who took refuge here from the police, their parents, teachers, or the mafia in order to live. Isn't that what I said actually? Basically, the best place to gather to collect souls would be like the prison or something like that. And here you have dirty lives means fine quality of soul. No, that's not true, but I guess for them, if you do wrong, the wrong soul is the good soul for you or something like that. Realized they couldn't live on the surface. Those brave fugitives had declined to discard their true selves like so many others had done, and instead sought a place where they belonged, a place where they would find kindred spirits. In a way, the difference between them and cowards was paper thin, but very few were capable of even that nowadays. When you consider them as Shiroyusa and Eri Honjo's lapdogs, perhaps they had little self-will, but even then, they still had value when seen as parts of a whole. At the very least, they undoubtedly had a better understanding of life and death than those who lazily shuffled through their everyday lives. So while it normally took about 500 lives to open a swastika, it would only take 200 to 300 of the lives here to open this one. Indeed, another swing or two from Cain and the woman's job will be done for the time being.
すごいものですね。大した威力だ。
And where did you come from? Lisa's thoughts were interrupted by the sound of the comrade, who had walked up next to her at some point during all this.
まるで爆撃。私が知る限り、一撃でここまでできる者は他にいない。黒煙卓の現有戦力中、最強はやはり彼か。
Kay looked unimpressively at the giant next to her. She spoke softly with a somewhat too perfect impudence.
しかし、随分と変わってしまった。バビロン、これは本当に。
ええ、彼よ。
This answered carefully, her forehead moist from intense concentration.
あなたも知っているように、トバルカインは代替わりする。彼は3代目だから、こうなった時、初代と2代目の肉体と融合したのよ。つまり意味軸も、さっき短いお嬢さんが言っていた通りね。
フランケンシュタインの怪物か。死体をつなぎ合わせた体。道理で代を重ねるごとに巨大になる。そしてその分強くなる。しかしそれだけに少々下せない。あなたは先ほどクレッシェンドと命令したが、私なら初撃でフォルテッシモというところだ。最大効率で戦果を上げるとは、すなわちそういうことだと思うのですが。
Lisa replied with tolerant to respond to the implied question of why she got back.
言ったでしょ。私は11年カインを使っていない。つまりこの彼を操るのは初めてなのよ。まだ手探りの状態なのに初撃で全力なんて、下手をしたらこちらが焼き切れてしまいかねない。
By the way, Lisa, nice underwear.
だからいわば短期運転ね。正直それでもかなりきついの。 実のところあなたとこうして話しているのも苦になるくらい。
日頃鍛えていないからそうなるのです。が
Kay shook her head at the absurdity of it all, but continued in a serious tone.
どうやら付き合って正解だったようですね。以前藤井君にした例え話、あなたは武器が強力でも使い手が脆弱だという典型だ。護衛が
そう。じゃあしっかり守って。それから彼は
生きていますよ。そしておそらく戦う気かと。
Kay was staring at the Twinny, who had since gotten to his feet and was glaring right at them.
バカね。今のうちに逃げればいいのに。
彼がそういう男じゃないことは私よりあなたの方がよく知っていることでしょう。
ええ、そうね。そうだった。
Exactly. Tupac Kane turned to run in sync with Lisa. No expression could be read of the death mask ignoring him. It spoke and ring as his function as soulless machine.
まだスワス地下は開いていない。あなたが仕事をこなそうとするのなら彼は全力で止めようとするでしょう。もはやどうあがいても戦うしかないですね。心が痛みますか、シスター。
まったく。
Lisa produced a bitter smile.
私が嫌いなのはわかるけど、意地悪なのもほどほどにね。でないとあなた可愛くないわよ。
She's not cute.
別に問題ないでしょう。
Kay replied to that candid advice with a steely voice.
私をこんな女にしたのはあなたたちなのだから。
Well, you did agree to that, so don't. And then there were two who were watching the pair's conversation with disinterested foolhardiness.
ダメだ、耳がバカになってる。これしばらく使えそうにねえけど、お前は？
私も正直だいぶダメ。あんたの声があさっての方から聞こえてくるよ。
It was sheer luck that spared them from the previous act, for they promptly taken evasive actions. You must then possess the reaction speed to avoid getting struck by lightning to begin with. Unlike Ren, it wouldn't have been odd if they had died then and there.
命中率が悪いのか、それともおめこぼししてもらったのか。何にせよ全力で舐められてんな。
Now that I think about it, they also do have the stuff around their neck, like Ren had from Kasumi, the gift, right? I wonder what's the meaning of those.
指揮官としては最悪とかね。まあ否定はしないけど、あんた最初からそんな柄じゃないのにね。
What did it mean to open a swastika? What had to be done? What happened? And what was the result? Shiro probably stopped his comrades from running away in order to figure it out. At least that was what Ellie believed.
あんたのその全開で人でなしなとこ、ぶっちゃけナチといい勝負。
褒めんなよ、照れるだろ。
まあそれはいいけど、耳がバカになってもやれることはあるわけでね。
From this distance, they wouldn't have been able to hear what their opponents were talking about even with proper hearing. As such, the temporary deafness didn't mean all that much. Ellie ignored Shiro at that point and stared intently at two on the stage.
おい、
うっさい。少し黙ってな。
Do you have a bomb under the stage or something like that, maybe? Ellie admonished her companion and started moving her lips. After a while, she looked at Shiro.
あいつらが何喋ってんのか。
Ellie could read lips. She had received no training in it. It was mostly a self-taught skill she had. As for the parts she couldn't pick up, she filled in the blanks through observation, concentration, and thought. She told Shiro what their enemies had been talking about.
だと思う。
頼りねえな。
信じないならご勝手に。
シスターを倒せば、あのカインとかいう化け物も倒せるってことか。
そういうことだね。まあそのためにはまずシスターを守ってるあのお嬢ちゃんが邪魔なんだけど。
そうだな。こんなのはどうだ。
Shiro explained the plan he concocted. Ellie nodded, ducked, and moved away from Shiro as quietly as possible. The rubble trying to escape proved to be a good smokescreen. The pair had known them for about 2 months, but they never accounted for much to Shiro on personal level.
もうちょっと使える奴らだと思ったんだが、ま、普通ってのはこんなもんか。
Shiro shook his head with a laugh, then proceeded to forget about them altogether. It was his creed to actively participate in battles and get as much fun out of them as possible. He had no interest in those who couldn't keep up. Once he predicted Eri was out of sight, Shiro fired the Desert Eagle in his hand. It should have been a surprise attack, however.
早速ありがとう。
The bullets were deflected by the red sword that had suddenly appeared at Kay's side out of thin air, much like the grotesque giant head.
あの姉ちゃんも化け物かよ。
Shiro clicked his tongue and fired 2 more shots without missing a beat.
こううるさいスズメね。
Kay swiftly grabbed the sword and swung it with the ease of lifting a twig with a mere flip of the wrist. She had repelled all the bullets with the blade of her sword.
おいおい、50口径だぜ。
50口径125ミリ滑空砲を持ってきたのなら、両手を使ってあげるわ。
戦車持ってこいってか。
Shiro didn't take Kay's words as a joke. She repelled the bullets. To do that, she would need extraordinary dynamic vision, as well as the physical strength and grip to handle the impact of the 50 caliber Magnum bullets with one hand. Naturally, the strength of her unyielding wrist was far beyond the limits of human training. Kay stared right at him as she lifted her flame with a sword. It wouldn't have been unusual to despair at the glimpse of strength she displayed in that one moment alone, however.
なるほどね。
Shiro sounded laughed, not out of despair, nor as a bluff.
釈迦程度食らっても平気な奴らがわざわざ弾くか。どうやらドンピシャみたいだぜ。エリー。
Lisa was controlling Cain. That required ungodly amounts of concentration. In which case, something as light as getting hit by a pebble that hits bullets had amounted to, as far as the bastards were concerned, might have been enough to make her drop their reins. Resigning himself to a support role wasn't exactly up Shiro's alley, but...
そういうことだ。ほら大将、さっさと行ってあの化け物ぶちのめせよ。
Alright. He said that, so Ran will probably be fighting the number 2 of table. But I'm going to end the episode here. Almost 1 hour long, so that should be fine. I would love to finish this fight in one go, but kind of can't. So yeah, for now, hope you enjoyed it, and tomorrow we'll continue. Bye bye.